What's going on, everybody? Doc Jinzo here with another duel video. Today I've got TRI-BRIGADE versus PALEOZOIC frogs. Let's go ahead and get into it. TRI-BRIGADE are going to start us off normal summoning a Kit, then linking it off into an Almirage, using Kit's effects when she's sent to the graveyard to dumping a Nerval in order to add to hand. Adding a TRI-BRIGADE Karis to hand, to be more precise. And then pitching the Kit to activate Karis' effect in the hand to summon himself. TRI-BRIGADE, very good deck this format, folks, very good deck. Good going first, good going second. Revolt's a busted card, and yeah, just it's a very good deck all around. Now we got a plushie on the field. It's nice. Banishing 2 for Karis' effect to summon Farajit. Looks like he's going to attempt to link into an Appaloosa here. Looks like he's either thinking the better of it or realizing that he cannot. One or the other. So next up, linking out the Farajit and the Karis into a brrrrrrr. Activating a Pod Desires now. I'm not the biggest fan of the card myself, but a draw 2 is nice. TRI-BRIGADE player activated on me though. Banishes engage. Don't do that to your cards, folks. Don't banish your cards face down. It's mean. It's banish them to the abyss to be forgotten face down? Nah. Don't be like that. Don't be like that to your cards. Then now using brrrrrr to special the Nerval. While he's thinking about his next play here, just make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Really helps the channel out. I like seeing everybody subscribe to the channel. To be honest, didn't think I'd be this big, but thanks to all of you guys watching and y'all support. Really helps out, and yeah, I'm really thankful for it. So next, Nerval is going to banish 3 in order to link 3 into a Rugal, and my dog's going to shake himself off under the desk. Speaking of beasts, now we're going to link 4 into an Appaloosa. And brrrrrr's going to get the Revolt, as he is wont to do, because, let's be honest, Revolt is a pretty busted card. Getting to put your banish back in the graveyard to get their effects, getting a link on your opponent's turn, etc., etc. Really good. So Paleos are going to draw for the turn now, and then interesting hand he's got there. No frogs right now, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue, as he's going to set 5 and hope he's not playing Denko Sekka. Revolt's going to be activated in end phase. and then just opting not to activate the revolt. This is a local tournament after all. There is a certain amount of casualness in the play. Nothing too serious. Next, Tenki is going to be activated. And it looks like he does not have the PALEOZOIC to destroy it. So we're going to get a search off the Tenki. Adding a Zodiac Thoroughblade. Thinking about his next possible play here. Normal summoning the Zodiac Thoroughblade. The dog is drinking some water. I'll wait a bit there. I hope it didn't catch on the mic. If it does, whatever. We're going to headbang now. And we're going to overlay into a Zodiac Borbo. As Lost Wind is set from the graveyard after being pitched by Morelia. This PALEOZOIC Morelia sends a trap to the graveyard. Opalise is going to swing and then Stormy Mirror Force will be activated. Putting everything back in the hand, or in this case, the extra deck. Revolt's going to be activated in battle phase now. Not getting away from him just yet, folks. He still wants to do a little bit of damage. As Morelia is summoned off the Stormy Mirror Force. Revolt's going to express summon 4 to link 4. Into a shuraig. Nerval and Kid are going to get their effects since they were sent to graveyard, and this is why Revolt is a pretty busted card if you ask me. If it banished the materials it'd be different, but sending them back to graveyard is kinda crazy. So dumping a Fractal off the Kit and adding a Karis off the Nerval. Then Shuraig's going to banish the leftmost card, which is a Canadian. And then Shuraig's going to swing into the Morelia for 1800 damage. All units is going to be activated to blow up the Tenki, which begs the question, why didn't he do that before so he did not get the search? He might have been saving it for something different. Perhaps. Setting 2 more now. Looks like Paleos are going to have to pass the turn. Tribrigade will draw. Oh, he wanted to do much, so he's just going to swing for 3k. As he knows if he does anything, a trap can be activated. Morelia will then be activated. Chaining all he needs in the grave. So Morelia is going to send a trap to the graveyard. Sending an Oli needs, but thinking better of it now. And he is now going to send a Paleozoic Lianshoilia. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Then activating Rise to Full Height, targeting Oli needs. And then Morelia is going to chain to the Rise to Full Height. If you don't know what Rise to Full Height does, folks, got it right here. It says, target one face-up monster in the field, double its defense, but its defense becomes 0 at the end of this turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one monster you control. Monsters your opponent controls cannot attack for the rest of this turn, except that monster. Fairly useful card. Paleos will have drawn for the turn now, and now he's going to look in his extra deck here. Figuring out what he wants to do. A lot of thought goes into this deck, folks. It is a very reactive deck. Exeasing the two Paleozoics into a Paleozoic Opabina. Opabina using its effect to detach to search any trap in the deck. I believe Paleozoic though. Yes. He only searches Paleozoics. Adding a Dinomecius, and then Droll and Lotbird is going to be activated. Activating Dinomecius after setting it, because Opabina also lets you activate Paleozoic traps the turn you set them. Pitching a Oleanids in order to, or non-Oleanids. Apologies, I cannot see what he pitched for the Dinomecius. But Oleanids will be chained to the Dinomecius to summon himself. Then Rise to Full Height will be activated, targeting the Oleanids. Dinomecius will then be activated, summoning himself since the trap was activated. Those two will now be overlaid into a totally awesome. Some would say that's a totally awesome play. Then Totally Awesome is going to swing for 22 directly. Then the turn will be passed. Drawing for turn now. Total will attempt to be activated. Imperm will be chained. And Toad will negate and set the Imperm. Thinking better of it, opting not to tribute his Opabina, but maybe his Frog. Looks like Toad will be tributing himself for his negation effect. Then Toad will put himself back into the extra deck, and then Swap Frog will be summoned off Toad's effect, since it was not negated. Swap Frog effect will dump a Ronin Toad into the graveyard. To be honest, kind of like this commentation format better. Just a little bit loose, but still mainly focused on the play-by-play. Summoning a Karis, normal summoning it, and then using its effect to banish 3, it seems, to special summon a Link 3. Summoning a Raise Velgar, the Doom Eagle. Using Rise to Full Height now, banishing itself from the graveyard to target Swap Frog, so now he can only attack the Swap Frog. Then Raise Velgar is going to put the Rodent Totem back in the deck. Chaining Lostwind to the Raise Velgar, but seeing as he cannot, or deciding not to, he is going to put the Rodent Totem back in the deck, as is Raise Velgar's effect. Very good game here, folks. Back and forth. A lot of back and forth here. Seeing if rise to full height it does anything else, or seeing what the effect is. Raised Velger is going to swing over the Swat Frog. Seeing if he can use Rise to Full Height twice in the graveyard, but I believe they come to a consensus to where you cannot. So, which will be unfortunate. But the Swat Frog will be killed. As the Obabina has a lot of defense due to Rise to Full Height. 4,800 defense. Passing the turn after that. Paleos will draw for the turn. Think about his next play. Using Obabina's effect now. Detach to search. Or thinking about it, rather. Yes. Detaching to search. Searching out a Dynamicius. Now activating the Dynamicius. Banishing the Karis. Seeing if there's a response here. Also wondering what he discarded for Dynamicius. Then Raised Velger is going to put the Swat Frog back in the deck. And yes, he discarded for Dynamicius there. Lost Wind is not going to be activated on Raised Velger. Chaining Dynamicius engraved to summon himself. Then Dynamicius is going to crash into the Raised Velger, since Raised Velger is 12 now due to the Lost Wind. And then attacking for 0 with the Obabina. Second main phase, going into Downard, and then going into Zeus. TRI-BRIGADE will draw for the turn now. If you don't know, that is Patty, who is over at Top Tier YGO, along with Aaron. I'm going to give them a follow. And they're really cool people, and make some pretty good content. So it looks like the turn will be passed on the TRI-BRIGADE player's end. Paleos will draw now, and he's going to look through his graveyard. Putting the Zeus in attack mode, swinging for 3k. Zeus is just such a good card, folks. Zeus is a crazy good card. Sitting 1 and passing the turn. Drawing for turn now. And we're going to go to game 2. Alright, folks, here we are in game 2. TRI-BRIGADE will start us off with a Pot of Desires. Don't know why you gotta banish your cards, folks. Don't do that to your card. What did they do to you? What did they do to you to deserve being banished face down like that? Especially if they're one of. It's sad, really. Activating a Tinky to search for a Beast Warrior. Can't tell, that is an ultimate rare Tinky, which I believe you can tell. Which just means the flex is real. Adding a Fractal, and then pitching it to pitch a Nerval to add a Kit to hand. Normal summoning the Kit. Banishing 2 using Kit's effect to special summon a Link 2. Special summoning a Brrrrrrr. Kind of want to try out TRI-BRIGADE Yosenju's one day. I know it's a bit janky, but the possibilities of TRI-BRIGADE are pretty endless. Pitching 2 off Brrrrrr's effect. To summon the Fractal from the Banner Zone. Linking off the Brrrrrr and the Kit now. In order to go into a Rugal. Using Kit's effect now to dump. And Brrrrr's effect now to search. Brrrrrr will add a Revolt. I actually don't think he used the Kit effect here. Interesting. I guess there's nothing else in the deck that he really needs to dump. Maybe a Karis, though, just to have some bodies in the graveyard. For link material. Then putting a card on the bottom of the deck thanks to Brrrrrr. Banishing the Kit and the Brrrrrr now off Fractal's effect. To summon Ancient Warrior Oath, Double Dragon Lords. Also a very good card, folks. Very good card. Let you bounce on other player's turn by discarding, which TRI-BRIGADE really don't care about. Setting 2 cards, I wonder which one's the Revolt, and passing the turn. Drawing for turn now on the Paleo player's side. Activating a Pot of Prosperity. Big money there, folks, because it's a very good card. A lot of good cards being played here today. Opting to banish 3 to excavate 3 and pick one. He's going to pick the Imperm. Putting his cards on the bottom of the deck. Seeing what his options are here, as going second as a Paleo player is not very optimal, but just got to play with the hand you dealt. Normal summoning a Swap Frog, then using the effect to send a frog from the deck to the graveyard. Sending a Rodent Totem. Revolt will then be activated. Opting not to activate the Revolt this time. And swap frog's other effect to add himself back to hand. And he gets an extra normal summon. Activating Imperm, targeting the double Dragon Lords. Special summoning Swap Frog off his own effect by pitching the other Swap Frog in his hand. And the Swap Frog will get to dump another frog. Dumping the Dupe Frog. There's Patty over there, likes to call him the Poop Frog. Activating Rodent Totem's effect in the graveyard, banishing the Dupe Frog to summon. Using Double Dragon Lord's effect, using Rugal for cost in order to use Rugal's effect in the graveyard. And then Revolt's going to be chained. Using those two to summon Shuraig. And using Shuraig's effect to banish the Rodent Totem. I know a lot to take in there, folks, but again, good cards are being played here. And Karis will be added back to hand off the Nerval effect. Not back to hand, but added from the deck to the hand. Then setting 3 now, and passing the turn. In phase, activating a Twin Twisters. Bane of any Paleo player's deck. Picking those two, and it will be a Storming Mirror Force and a Paleozoic. Now we're given a clear shot of what it was here. TRI-BRIGADE thinking about his next play here. So he has to worry about one back row. One back row can make all the difference here, folks. As you guys want to do. Putting the Fractal in defense mode. Interesting play there. Activating a Needlebug Nest. That's going to get ashed. And therefore the Paleos in the graveyard cannot be summoned due to the activation. And then Swap Frog's going to get run over by Double Dragon Lords. And then Shuraig's going to attack for 3,000. If the last thing to happen in a chain is not trap being activated, Paleos cannot attempt to activate. And now we're in the game 3 here, folks. Activating a Pot of Prosperity. My explanation ran a little long there. I missed the transition, but that's okay. And looks like we're going to be banishing 6 off the Prosperity. Meaning that Sam must be a little bit not that optimal for himself. Which is unfortunate. As we are having to dig. A lot of good options here, folks. But he can only grab one. Do a little wavy motion with his hands as he thinks. Opting between the Needlebug Nest and a Solemn Strike. And adding the Needlebug Nest of all things. Interesting play. We'll see where it pays off. Looks like we're going to be setting 4 here, folks. But first we're going to shuffle our hand a little bit here. Looks like 3 cards will be set and the turn will be passed. Activating a Twin Twisters right off the bat in standby. Pitching a TRI-BRIGADE Nerval. Or to pop those 2 cards right there. Chaining Needlebug Nest. Ash is going to hit the Needlebug Nest. Chaining Solemn Strike to the Ash to negate it. Not very happy with his mill there. Then Nerval's going to let him search since it was sent to graveyard. Adding a Tri-Brigade Fractal. Activating Twin Twisters again, hitting the other back row. Chaining a Leonids to target the Twin Twisters. Chaining a Paleo in the grade to summon it. And then Kit will dump a Fractal since she was sent for the Twin Twisters cost. Normal summoning Fractal now. Chaining King Backjack in the graveyard. Hitting a Swap Frog, unfortunately. Haven't seen Backjack in a long time, ever since the BA days. Very good card, though. It's a bit of a gamble, but sometimes it pays off. Seeing the Tri-Brigade player, seeing what he wants to summon here. If it were me, I'd probably go into Bear Brum, swing over for some damage, and then in main phase 2 link into a Raise Vulgar, so I had the Revolt. The Fractal is going to banish 2. Summon a Bear Brum. Lost One's going to get set from the graveyard. Bear Brum's going to swing over the Paleo. Not even going to attempt that name again. And then Fractal's going to swing for a total of 2,400 damage. Linking those 2 off now. Into a Rugal, of all things. Then Bear Brum's going to search for a Revolt. Interesting he chose not to go into Raise Vulgar, but we'll see where this goes. Setting the Revolt and passing the turn. Paleos will draw for turn now. Setting 4 cards and passing the turn, but it looks like Rugal uses effect to summon Nerval. And Nerval will get added back to hand. Drawing for turn now. And it looks like Rugal's going to swing. Transmigration Prophecy is going to be activated, it looks like. Maybe? Not quite sure what that card is. I believe it's Transmigration Prophecy. And we'll go into time. Tri-Brigades take the match.